Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Olivia, and this is Something Like Olivia, a podcast where I don't really know what we talk about. Sometimes I ramble about things I know nothing about, and we're learning a lot along the way. This is not a new catchphrase. I used to say where we talk about everything and nothing at the same time, which I feel like was kind of good, but then I didn't really love having a catchphrase. Like, I don't really love opening up the podcast and having to say the same thing every single time. You know, the thing with my podcast is that it's very, as I said, rambly. It's very random. Sometimes I am a little bit repetitive. Sometimes I talk about the same thing for 17 episodes in a row. That didn't happen, and if it did, don't tell me. I'll be self-conscious about it, you know? But I'm feeling good, and I know it's been a while since there's been a podcast episode, but I'm excited to announce that this is officially season 2 of the podcast, which just saying that just kind of makes me feel like I'm more valid in taking such a long break. You know, it's like when podcasters or YouTubers, or sometimes more so podcasters, will take a break for like over the holiday time and then be like, all right, guys, Happy New Year. Welcome to season 3 of the podcast, or something like that. So this is officially season 2. I took a break just because I was kind of didn't know what to say. I was in a weird place in my life where I wasn't really motivated to make videos. I was just kind of going through it, you know, simply existing. And that can be hard sometimes. As you know, I got a haircut. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see. If not, if you're listening to this on wherever you listen to podcasts, I got a haircut. I'm feeling good. And I'm just kind of like trying to discover who I am. You know, I've said this a million times on this podcast, but I think something that's really important to know about this podcast is that it's so much less of me giving advice. It's more of me just kind of existing with you. You know, I don't have anything figured out. I have a few things figured out, you know, like I really like pesto pasta over any other type of pasta. I like going on walks in the morning, and I really love the color pink. I have those things figured out, and I think that's a good place to start, you know, but everything else, you know, I really don't know, and that's okay. So I'm trying to figure out my life, and I think it would be kind of hypocritical or a little bit crazy if I came out here and tried to give you genuine advice, you know. I mean, if I happen to spew some nuggets of wisdom your way, it's probably going to be unintentional. I don't want to sell myself short, but, you know, I'm basically just trying to say that this isn't an advice podcast. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I am basically just kind of rambling on a microphone to you about my life and what I'm going through, and we're just kind of figuring it out together. And that is what I love about this podcast. So why I took a break, I just kind of, you know, didn't know what to do. I felt like I didn't have anything to say. I felt like no one wanted to hear me speak because I wasn't able to give good advice. I wasn't able to give any words of wisdom, you know. I was like, no one's listening. And then meanwhile, I'm literally getting like 200 listens. That's 200 people. If 200 people walked in this room right now, I would be so overwhelmed. They would not fit. There would not be enough seating. I really only have this one chair in my bed, you know. Like, I mean, maybe if you're packed like sardines, you could fit tops like uncomfortably 10 people on my bed, you know, just like sitting really tightly. It wouldn't be fun or comfortable or really enjoyable at all, but you know, it could work if it needed to. I really hope there's never a day that it needs to. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a very extroverted, very social person, but if 200 people came in my room, I would probably leave. I would just say, hey, don't touch anything, don't steal anything, and goodbye forever. I'm going to jump out the window because that's my safest bet. But luckily that has not happened, and I don't see that happening anytime soon in my future. But yeah, I just kind of want to give you a little rundown. This episode's going to be short because I have book club in 30 minutes. And I love that for me. I'm sorry if I'm speaking so fast. I have just been really hyped up lately. Also, I just walked up like 100 flights of stairs, and now I am a little bit tired. You know, when you're like really sleep deprived and then you just like have all this energy from being sleep deprived? It's like a weird reverse Uno card. I don't really know. But I just kind of want to talk to you about what I'm going through in my life right now. As you know, I wasn't here for a little bit, so I didn't have the place to give you kind of the updates of what's going on. But I want to talk about failure and moving on. And there's a fire truck going by. I apologize if you can hear it. You probably can't. Can you? Anything? Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. But I'd like to just kind of talk about the process of learning and growing and kind of the course of life, So let's jump right into it. So I had this one episode that I posted not too long ago, which was actually mainly made for a YouTube video. And the video, it was really just kind of really random clips that I picked from my hard drive and just kind of threw together to make some kind of visual experience. It was more of a listening thing because I don't know, it was just like kind of recorded it like a podcast kind of, but wanted it to be more of a visual thing. And that was just me talking about kind of my path of life and where I am and who I am. And I think it was good. And I got a lot of really good feedback on it, but pretty much that wasn't like an actual podcast episode. I posted that on a really random day, and I'm going to be posting this on a really random day too. I don't know what the podcast schedule is. I'm going to have to really mix it up for reasons why I'm going to tell you sooner down the road in this podcast in a few minutes. But in the last episode, so not excluding, I am jumping over my words here, excluding the last kind of little bonus episode that I posted on here. The episode prior to that was me manifesting through visualization and buying crystals. I had 1 crystal at that point, and now I have 6. So we're loving it. We are in a good place. But I was listening to that podcast yesterday just because I was like, okay, we're getting back into the podcast zone. I want to record another episode. What was the last thing I talked about? And it's funny because I was talking about feeling really good in my career and feeling really good. Like I had this awesome career opportunity coming. I felt like all of the dots were being connected and the puzzle was just being completed. And I felt like I was headed in the right direction. And it's funny because that episode aired not too long ago, only a month or so ago. And I feel like a totally new person. I love the fact that as people, we can evolve and grow so much in such a short period of time. And it's so important to really make sure you're not taking any day for granted. Every single chance, every breath that you take, every step that you take is a chance to learn and grow and challenge yourself and try something new. And it's just so interesting to me listening back to that episode, even from just a month ago. I'm thinking, who is this girl? She's so different. Her priorities are there and she's learning and she's on the right path. She's so close to getting it, but she doesn't have it yet. She doesn't have it yet. And I love that about myself. I love 1 month ago, manifestation, visualization, 1 crystal Olivia. Just as much as I love today, manifestation, visualization, 6 crystal Olivia. But I don't know. So basically, in that zone, I was pushing myself so hard on career. And I was telling a story about how I was with my friend Isabel. If you haven't heard it, I'll just kind of recall the story right now. I was with my friend Isabel. She was off to move to LA, and we were both kind of feeling really amped. She was like, I feel like I have this new opportunity. Things are bubbling up. Things are kind of coming together for me. And I was like, yes, same. I'm so excited about it. And it's funny because for the longest time, I had thought that I had this feeling inside of me. I had this amazing feeling. And I talked about this in the video / kind of last bonus episode podcast that I posted. I had this feeling bubbling up inside of me. And it wasn't until I was in this journaling class, which, oh my gosh, I'm going to link her down below. But my friend Emily does these amazing journaling classes. Right now, obviously, they're all on Zoom, but they are so fantastic. You sign up for a course. She has ones focusing around different topics, whether it's career, mental health, or anything. I went to one of them, and she has journaling prompts and plays really good music and just have really good, healthy conversation. It's like group therapy, but way cheaper and way more supportive, because everyone is kind of just like really rooting for each other. And I have never been to group therapy, so I actually don't know what that is like. I would hope everyone would be rooting for each other, but maybe every single different group therapy is different. I don't know. I'm not going to go down that road, but it was just so amazing. And she had this one prompt. Let me see if I can find it in my journal, actually. She had this one prompt about tell your brain something, thank your brain for something. And I was already so open to, I think the thing that's important is just kind of being open to these things. I've been journaling a lot, and I have all these different journal prompts that I've been going off of, and sometimes they seem so ridiculous. Sometimes they're really deep. Sometimes I don't even really know how to approach them, but I think the main thing that's important is to just be really open with it. Just kind of like open your mind and dig really deep, and just, even if you aren't relating to the journaling prompt, just like keep writing, just go with it, because you never know what's going to flow from your amazing brain. You can think so many things. So this prompt was write a letter to your brain. And at first I was just talking about how crazy things were. And then I was thanking my brain for being so spectacular. And just, yeah, I was talking about how I've been feeling a lot. I am trying to escape and explore. I keep kind of trying to find the answer. I keep being like, and I've said this so many times, but like, once I move to New York, everything's going to be great. Or like, maybe I'll just pack everything and move to Alaska and like find myself. I'm always trying to find that way out, that like one cure. I'll buy this one crystal and it'll solve everything and it'll be amazing. The moon tonight it's a full moon, it's the Scorpio moon, all these things. I don't know anything about it, but I've just seen TikToks about it, and I'm kind of like, okay, how do I take advantage of this? Like, is this going to be the ultimate healing power? But no, everything is a process, and the first way to heal is within yourself. I think it's so easy to go too far into self-care and self-help and wellness. It's easy because it's also at the root of it kind of a capitalist thing. You think that you're helping yourself by buying all these crystals and these face oils and books and journals and ways to learn and do new things that will ultimately help you. But then at the end of the day, you're really just spending money, and you're not focusing on actually getting to know yourself. You're just trying to like buying all these band-aids to help yourself. I don't know, not to get deep, but I don't know, who cares? We're deep on this podcast. Why not? But I was journaling, and she was playing this music, and I was talking about that time that I was with Isabel, and I felt like I had this thing inside me. Like, I felt like I've had this thing. I was like, everything's going to click. And for me, I've always been thinking, I'm going to get that dream job. I'm going to get all this money. I'm going to get my dream apartment. I'm finally going to move to New York. But then I realized that the thing within me while I was journaling in this journaling class was that it was me. It was always me. And I'll just read this to you. I haven't read this since I wrote it, and like reading it back like those few days afterwards. So just bear with me if it's cringy. I don't know. I don't care. I thought that I was coming into something big. I have success in my future. I could just feel it. Maybe that big achievement feeling wasn't monetary or going viral or a blog or my job but sorry, again, rambly. I was just going off the dome here, journaling. Maybe it wasn't going viral or my blog or a job, but it was finding myself. Oh my gosh, this is a realization I have not had until now, but I feel it. I can be whole. I am becoming me. Brain, I love you. I'm so proud. Wow, thank you. I can't wait to start this journey together. Girl was really thanking her brain in that moment, live and in stereo. And I love that. I love it. It's like, I just didn't realize I've literally been trying to buy these crystals and like work on my portfolio and get new candles and journals. And obviously those things are good. I'm still going to do those things because I enjoy those things. But the thing that was coming for me was helping myself and taking care of myself. I'm doing so much better now. I'm talking to people, and I'm really exploring my emotions and my feelings in a way that I never have before. And I think I've said this on here before, but my real thing that I'm now ready to focus on is celebrating joy and finding success within myself. And so things are changing and things are feeling good. I've been for the last year applying to all these jobs. I had my one job that you all know that I got fired from. Rest in peace. That's a whole different story for a different time. But no, for nothing bad, But didn't work there, and that didn't really work out, but I wasn't really even happy there. And I always told myself, I'm not going to work in social media anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. And then every single time I see a job like that, I'm like, well, this is all I know. I might as well apply. And so after a whole year of literally just trying to put myself out there, applying to jobs, working on my portfolio, thinking that the only thing that's going to bring me joy is success, getting a job that will make me money and make my peers jealous of me, which is so toxic. And I don't know if it's jealousy or just, wanting to make me people proud. Probably a little bit of both. I know that jealousy sounds so wrong, but I'd be lying if I said I haven't thought about it, and that's normal. That's a normal human thing to think and a normal human feeling. And of course, I see my other peers succeeding and I'm jealous of them and I want to be them and I want to have what they have. But I don't. And that's okay. I had a job offer come to me and I was so excited about it. I was like, finally, this is it. And well, let me backtrack a little bit. Well, no, I'm not going to. I'll do that in a minute. But so I had this job offer come in and I was so excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, everything is clicking. This is it. Like, I know I had that realization with my brain earlier, but like, I'm going to take this job. And it was essentially a social media job for fashion. The thing that I say I'm not going to do anymore. And then here I am rolling right back into it because again, it feels like it's all that I know, So I went through a few interviews. I did 2.5 interviews. The half was because it was like just kind of it wasn't really an interview. It was like meeting people who work there. And then I also did this like edit test, quote unquote, basically just kind of them giving me an assignment that I might have if I were an employee at this company and then kind of doing that, which am I afraid they're going to steal my ideas now? Yes, because I essentially gave them all of my best ideas, but it is what it is. Life goes on. They were good ideas, and I'd be really happy if the company was able to use them. So who knows? We'll see. And I did all this, and they strung me along for a really long time. I was really excited about it. I looked at all these apartments in New York. I was like, it's happening. It's finally happening. And my boyfriend got a job in New York, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I hate long distance, so I don't even have to do it now. Like, we're both going to go to New York. And then I didn't get the job. Oops. But that's okay. And it's tough because I feel like going to SCAD, where I went to college, and just kind of how I grew up, it's so like success focused, It's like if you're not working this job that you majored in, and if you're not making so much money and you're not part of this statistic that SCAD has about like careers and graduate rates and whatever, I don't even know, then like you didn't do a good job. Like you're not living up to the SCAD name. But like I'm struggling. I struggled with it for a bit, but I'm learning and I'm changing, and I'm gonna be a camp counselor. Surprise, surprise. I am going back to the camp that I grew up going to for just about 10 years, and I could not be more excited. Could it be the same kind of let me pack my bags and move to Alaska thing? Perhaps. But I think instead of being a detour, it's less of a detour and more of just a stop along the way on my path. I think we get so caught up in the idea that like you have to have a job. Obviously, we live in a society that is ruled by money, and it helps if you have a job. And a job seems to be one of the only ways to survive. However, we live in this society where you have to have a quote unquote good job, and if you're not making a lot of money, you've kind of failed the system. You've failed at life, which is just so not true. And so when I first kind of proposed the idea of me going back to camp to those in my life, they were like, okay, it's a detour. It's a detour, but I mean, I guess that's okay. You'll get back on track, you'll find your job. But I'm not seeing it as a detour. Camp is a place that has such a near and dear place in my heart, and it means the world to me. It is one of my I've made some of my best friends there. I have some of my greatest memories from being a camper there, and I just have been my happiest when I've been at camp. We are not allowed to have any technology, so it's completely unplugged. No phones, obviously no social media, no nothing. I think you can have a camera. I hope so, because I would love to be able to do some video, kind of share this special place with you guys as well. But I'm so excited. I couldn't be more excited. And I think about camp all the time. I think about, it's that, again, like I said, that same kind of let's move to Alaska thing where I'm just like, why don't I just like go to camp? What I wouldn't give to just put my phone in a bucket for like 10 weeks and go to camp and just surround myself with these people who their main priority is fun and to lift each other up and see the joy in the world. And it's in the most beautiful part of the mountains. And it's almost like a retreat. I mean, I know it's a lot of work. I'm not denying that at all. I'm fully prepared to have to take care of campers and be a responsible counselor. And, you know, I'm responsible for the lives of potentially 4 to anywhere from like 11 campers at a time, and you know, in the cabin, and even more if I'm teaching different classes and stuff. So I know that it's tough work. It's not easy, and it's a very legitimate job, but it's also a very just soul-filling experience. Like I said, the biggest priority among the people at camp is having an amazing dance party, making sure you don't get too sunburnt, and making sure that you can write fun letters and have the best stickers on your envelopes, and sharing stamps with friends, and sharing stories all through the night. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know, all the good things. And I am not seeing this as a detour. I need to get away. You know, I need to get away from this social media jobs, and I keep applying to them. I need to just have this break. And I think the thing is, I have spent my whole life doing social media, doing fashion marketing, doing blogging and styling and all of these things that have never really fulfilled me. You know, I do my YouTube, and I've talked about it so many times here before on this platform about how, yes, I love YouTube. I love it. And like the numbers don't matter. Ha ha ha. But like we all know that they do, because I'm human and I have feelings, and everyone wants to grow, you know, naturally everyone wants to grow. And if you're making content, you want to be seen, you know, so it can be tough, but I don't know. It's crazy that I've been doing this for a decade and I've seen basically no feedback, no large feedback. I see the most amazing feedback from you all who are dedicated to this channel, and it means the world to me. Please don't get that wrong, but don't get it twisted, if you will. But I just need to change my course, and I think that needs to be normalized more. You know, it is insane that we go to college and we are expected to know what we want to do for the rest of our lives at 18. It's absolutely insane to me. You know, so I want to go to camp and I want to be away from my phone, be away from seeing others living their dream lives and getting their dream jobs, and because it can be hard for me to not compare myself to them, you know? And who knows, I might go to camp and find that being the counselor doing the arts and crafts activity is my favorite thing in the entire world, and I might want to be a middle school arts and crafts teacher. Like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, and I feel like we are just expected as young people to have it together in our 20s and know what we want to do in our late teens even. And that's just not the case. That's not the case. I feel like it's really important that we are able to fall down and take 10 steps back and 1 step forward and 30 steps back and 50 steps forward. It's just like, I never know what I'm going to excel at. And I've literally been doing YouTube, my blog, Instagram, fashion, styling, social media, all this stuff since I was 14. Why did I decide what I wanted to do as a career when I was 14? That's so young. So I'm excited to go and really reflect. I know I'm going to be busy. Like I said, a counselor job is a 24/7 job, but I'm really hoping that I can really reflect in the still moments that I have in this 10-week course this summer, and just kind of learn about myself and be still with the lake and the mountains and the stars above, and just kind of figure out more about who I am and what I want. You know, I'm hopefully going to be able to work in the drama department at camp and maybe do some costuming or some sewing and arts and crafts. And who knows, jump in the lake. I've always been afraid of water, but like, why not jump? You know, that sounded so deep and I love it. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited. And to the people that said this is a detour, I don't see it as one. My dad is calling me. 1 second. Sorry. I honestly don't remember what I was just talking about. My dad had to call me and I only have 10 minutes till book club. But yeah, I guess I'm excited. I think that it's really important that we challenge ourselves and we try new things and we get out there because like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. You know, I've found that I recently just found, as you know, that I want my life's purpose to be joy. And I don't want to be so driven by success and number, like what society, quote unquote, thinks about quote unquote success, you know, and I don't want to be so defined by numbers and money and all of these things. And I really want to be defined by joy and the connections that I make with people and the happiness that I feel inside of me that I can then spread to others. And that's what I want to do, you know? And I don't know if that means working with people, working with children, working with adults. Like, I just want to feel connected to this world, and posting about superficial things like fashion trends on Instagram isn't fulfilling for me. And I know it is for some. And I love fashion. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to post on my Instagram because it's kind of like second nature to me. You know, it's just like fun to share my life. I love having the archive. I'm still going to post on my blog and YouTube because it's like a hobby, you know, but the second that it starts feeling like work, I've become so unmotivated. And I don't like it because that's not my career. That's not the path that I meant to be down, you know? And the thing is, I really need to focus on my brain and I need to focus on myself first. And I think it's really important that before you make these huge life decisions of your career and where you want to move and what you want to be and who you want to do, LOL, what you want to do and who you want to be. I think it's important that you really take time to solidify the relationship with yourself first and ask yourself who you want to be at the core, you know, not to others, but to yourself. Who do you want to go to sleep with at night, like in your brain? Like, what does your brain want to be telling you when you're winding down for the day and when you first wake up in the morning? Because it's really just you. Like, you and your body and your soul, like, you can't escape yourself. So you should really be happy with yourself first over anything. And I know that's easier said than done. Are you kidding me? I have really down days where I do not like myself at all. And that's just the way that life is, but I'm working on it. And I've had more happier days than sad days lately. And I couldn't be more proud of myself, you know, just being human and being happy and just existing is such a great accomplishment that we take for granted so often. And I just think that that's really special, that we can just exist and be happy and spread joy. You know, I think that's really great. So I feel like we need to just talk more about, yes, failure might exist. And yes, we might want to mix things up, or we feel like we're not doing well in our one field, but there are millions of fields out there. You know, there might be something that you love that you don't even know exists yet. So I think we just need to recognize that you don't have to have it all figured out in high school or even in college or even in 20s or your 30s. You know, life is meant to be lived. So try new things and live it to the fullest. To be cheesy, live life to the fullest. So I'm really excited for camp. And that being said, I have no idea what my day off is going to be yet, but my day off, hopefully I can take advantage of that and film the podcast, then record the podcast, maybe film some videos. I'm hoping to be able to pre-record some kind of basic videos for you guys. I probably won't be posting 3 times a week like I was when I was posting YouTube videos. Again, obviously I took a break there as well, in addition to my podcast. Yeah, so I probably maybe will have like 1 video a week pre-recorded, just kind of like basic, timeless, evergreen videos that I could post at any time of the year. And then you'll see me in real time on the podcast here, and you'll hear me on real time on the podcast, as well as once I am back from camp, which will be in August. And it's crazy. I mean, I have new things popping up all the time. I'm about to launch into a long distance relationship as of this Sunday, which I wasn't expecting at all, but couldn't be more excited for Reese moving to New York and this new opportunity. I mean, that job opportunity popped up for him like 2 weeks ago, and he's taking it, and I'm so proud. And I hate long distance, or so I thought. But this is a new relationship. It's a new person, and I'm in a new place in my life. Like I said, I was a totally different person 1 month ago, so I'm excited to see how that pans out. I feel like it's so easy to doubt things and to be afraid of things just because of how they were in the past. But we have to remember that we are new people every day. Like I said, with every step you take and every breath you take, as like rhymey, cheesy, sing-songy that sounds, you are a new person, and you're constantly learning and growing. And I think you should allow yourself to lean into that growth, and accept the change. And remember that this has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I saw a TikTok about this guy that was like, I feel like cringy people are the ones that enjoy life more. So lean into being cringy. Stop caring what others think about you, Like I said, it's literally you and your brain. That's who you go to bed with at night. That's who you wake up with in the morning. So do things for you. Release the judgment that you think others have of you. Release the judgment you have on yourself. Just kind of fall down 6 times and get up 8. That doesn't really make sense, but just, go with the flow, I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah, maybe I got rejected from this job I thought was my dream job. And honestly, anytime a company reaches out and they want to hire me, I just start saying it's my dream job. So maybe I got rejected from my almost sort of, not really sort of, kind of dream job. And that hurt and it stunk, but I'm so excited for camp. And I'm so excited because it's just, this whole thing is some weird, curvy, wacky, windy road that who knows where life will take me, but I'm excited to be on this road because it is my path and it's my adventure, it's my journey, and I just cannot wait to see where it leads me. So yeah, and I hope you feel the same way about your life as well. That's going to be it for this podcast episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you were able to keep up. That makes it sound like I'm like ahead of you, but you know what I'm saying. I mean it more in the sense that, like, sorry if I rambled and like didn't make any sense. I hope it made sense to you. I'm kind of just going straight off the brain here. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all very soon. I love you. Have an amazing day, amazing rest of your week, rest of your weekend, whenever you're listening to this, and I hope to see you soon. All right. Goodbye. Have a great one.